Testing.
Testing.
1, 2, 3.
Testing. Oh, are the mics on? As you know, dear viewer, we've had awful problems with the microphones, but we are getting better.
Cafetiere.
Well, welcome to the monthly podcast. Hello. Yes, we've got a new cafetiere, which we aren't. Can I do the plunging?
Oh, go on. Plunge it slowly. Don't do like you did. Like you did the other day.
Oh, I don't like that plunger. Anyway, welcome to, for those that are new around here, the madness that is love life. Oh. Well, it shouldn't be like that, should it? Where did you buy this cheap thing from?
Asda. Other supermarkets are available.
Oh dear lordy. We'll have to have a look today.
Oh look, you haven't got it that way.
What?
It's used. Look.
Oh.
User error.
What a
man to do
anyway.
it. Oh.
So there you go. Anyway, look, welcome to our monthly podcast. This is the longest introduction in history. For those that are new around here, we have a monthly recorded podcast where basically we actually I'm going to get up and make sure that is actually recording. Talk amongst yourselves. Talk to Mrs. Bonneville. Yes.
I'm just using the lovely spoons that Claire from Wales sent us, not last Christmas, the Christmas before. I love these little spoons. Doesn't matter that it's got a snowman on it, I'm still going to use it.
So yeah, for those that are new around here, this is definitely the world's longest intro, Mr. Bonneville, to a YouTube upload video. We have a monthly podcast where you lovely folks send us via our website, lovelifetriumph.co.uk, more on that in a minute, or the YouTube comments. And we basically answer your questions. I know we say this each month, asking you to trust us. I do not share them with Mrs. Bonneville. She likes to know nothing. So that's what we do each month for around about maybe 45 minutes to an hour. Just a quick update on the website. We've had a couple of emails. It's not gone anywhere. I've taken the website down for, what's the technical marketing? Refresh. We're having a little bit of a refresh on the website, so watch this space. I've not shared that with Mrs.
I don't even know that.
It's a bit of a surprise. Right, so what we've done, or I've done with all of those questions that you've sent in onto the website via lovelifetriumph.co.uk, I've basically cut and pasted all of them onto a Word document on the iPad. So please don't worry if you sent a question in, there's no website anymore. There is a website, we're having it, I'm refreshing it. Right, let's crack on, shall we, Mrs. B? I'm going to turn this around because you don't like to see or hear the questions. Don't move too far away from the camera.
No, that's fine.
There you go. I need to check that shot again now, folks. Let's have a look. Is Mrs. B in frame? Yes, she is.
This coffee is very nice, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah, try it. Oh. It's our very first cafetiere. Where did we have it? Oh, when we did our breakfast club the other morning, and we went to Bevington's. And the boys on Wide Bean Goldfinch, they have a cafetiere, and so we thought we'd have one. Jeez.
Thanks for sticking around with us. Right, questions for the monthly podcast. Oh look, I've got your Christmas list here. Don't look, I keep the Christmas list on the iPad.
Is that my presents?
Yeah.
Oh,
look. I build them up each. You see? She landed on her feet, didn't she?
I do that every month, love. Always surprises me.
Don't look.
No,
don't look at the Christmas list.
I won't.
Okay. Right. There's things like Be Nice to Your Husband books on there. Joking. Right, let's crack on. Mark Price has asked via the YouTube comments. Love the vlogs. Thank you.
Thank you.
And your boat is absolutely beautiful. Thank you very much, Mark. That's a lovely thing to say. We have a 2-year-old Collingwood and have had the same issue with the roof. Wish we had never had a self-seeking satellite box put on the roof. Like you, the paint started to peel and we had to repaint it. You look as though you know what you were doing with it, and it always looks worse than it is. Would love you to keep us in the loop with the repainting. Right, my question is, just before I read out Mark's question, thank you, Mark. Yeah, look, I mean, it looks really bad. It's more kind of cosmetic than anything, but yeah, just for those that aren't aware, we know there was a self-seeking satellite, you know, these big kind of dome things on the roof, and unfortunately a little bit of water got between the actual base of the box and obviously the roof, the top of the roof, and it started to peel the paint. So I've basically taken 3 times more paint off than is needed, but I just want to make sure I can get, you know, a nice kind of feathering, and then I'm just going to, excuse me, attempt to do it myself. So thank you for that comment. It's a very, I had another question that I almost put in around rust. Not that we're experts, I'm certainly no expert on the boat, but someone did say, oh yeah, all boats rust. Absolutely, the minute they're put in the water, they're starting to rust. You will always battle with that. There's boats on this pontoon, you know, newer than our boat's 4 years old, which is, you know, still a young boat, but there's boats newer on our pontoon that are starting to rust. You can just see it. It's a constant battle with the boat. They're in the water, for goodness sake. So anyway, I digress. Mark, thank you for that. So Mark's question is, what are those silver clip things you have on the curtains? They look like huge bulldog clips. I am so intrigued, and so is the wife. Keep the videos coming, and Mrs. B, you are without doubt the sexiest floater on YouTube.
Thank you very much.
Don't tell my wife I said that, Mark. You've so been busted. And I happen to agree, my wife is the sexiest floater on YouTube. Right, let me actually get one and show you. What they are basically little clips that we put around the curtains each evening as we close them. There are some rails that you can tuck the curtains in behind, but when
I just show very quickly?
Okay, hold on. Let me get the camera then. Yeah, so when we got the boat, we noticed the lining on the curtains every curtain had got kind of a watermark, and they looked horrible. So Mrs. Bonneville very kindly arranged, she took them all down, and we had a professional
lady in the village
seamstress basically reline them, and she's done an amazing job.
Yeah.
So what these clips are, Mark, are basically, so when we close the curtains at an evening, we clip them like that, and we won't show, yeah, we are going to show you.
Yeah.
We clip the curtains together. So at the moment you can see they're not inside the rail, and therefore when the condensation does hit the windows, because if you've not lived on a boat, trust me, it doesn't matter what boat you've got, you will get some condensation in the winter months.
When we bought Chowbella, the curtains were pushed down there, and that's what these are for. Yeah. And that's what we're not doing.
Does that make sense?
Hope that does make sense.
So I am now going to clip that back onto there, look Mark, there you go. And that's what we do in the daytime. When we close the curtains at an evening, we just clip them up. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. Let me put the camera down, make sure Mrs. Bonneville's in shot again.
Sorry.
Now what we will probably do in the summer months is maybe put the curtains inside the rail.
Yeah, which we can do, can't we? Because then we won't get that wetness on there.
There we go. Now Mrs. Bonneville, if you don't move too much, you're back in shot. So hopefully, Mark, that makes sense.
What's going to irritate you now is I haven't put the...
Oh, no. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm just going to sort the curtains out.
Mr. B is a bit particular. He's the homemaker and the cushion plumper and buyer of throws and things like that. I'm not. And if something's not quite straight, then
dear.
It just said
yes, some would call it mild OCD. Maybe it is. Right, so...
That's it. It's going to be a funny one today, isn't it?
Oh, wait, I
think we're on one today, aren't we? We're just a bit giddy.
Let me just finish me. This cafetiere coffee, by the way, is lovely.
Nice. And it's from Aldi coffee.
Oh, right, moving on. Thanks for sticking with us. If you've tuned out, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Right, Mark, thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Sue Griffiths, and this has come via lovelifetriumph.co.uk, and Sue has put on board a 60-foot Collingwood on the K&A.
Oh, nice.
Excuse me. I really enjoy watching you both. So funny and down to earth. We've said it many times. We just literally press record. We don't script it. Maybe should we script it? No, we're never going to script things.
No.
And for those that do know us, they will testify to that. We just press play. So thank you ever so much for that lovely feedback, Sue. I hope you get to include my question into the podcast, because I've been dying to ask this for ages. Oh. Intrigue builds. Question: the big Dyson fan you have, are you happy with it? I have one, and to be perfectly honest, I am a little dissatisfied with mine. Doesn't really seem to heat the entire boat. Our boat is only a 60 foot and nowhere near as big as your boat. So I would love to know how you fare with it when the weather gets a little bit colder. When you watch the advert, it does appear that 2 of these large Dyson fans seem to be getting recommended to heat 3-storey houses. Please keep the great work up. We both absolutely love watching you pair. Right.
Thank you.
What do you reckon, Mrs. B?
I think you're about right. They're great, fabulous little piece of machinery.
Yeah.
And currently, we've got our lovely central heating on, haven't we? So it's lovely and
Webasto,
warm.
yeah.
Webasto, so it's lovely and warm throughout the boat. If we just had the Dyson fan on and not the Webasto, and it was pointing like that because it's pointing to our chairs.
Yeah. Good point. Let me just turn around. So at the moment, it's positioned towards where we sit.
And to be honest with you, I couldn't tell you the last time we had the Dyson on because the Webasto central heating is wonderful. The only time I actually put the Dyson on is now Mr. Bonneville started a new role and he's up and out early in the morning.
Sorry about moving the camera, folks. Sorry, Mr. B, carry on.
I'll put it on when I get up in the morning, just for half an hour or so.
Yeah.
We don't like to put the Webasto on till after 8 o'clock because it does make quite a bit of noise and we're just conscious of our neighbours. So I'll just put it on in the morning. It just warms me up. But does it warm the whole boat? No. It just warms. It sort of comes out to a triangle.
It warms where you point it towards, doesn't it?
And it's really good for warming that bit.
Oh, yeah. Like the one we've got, the small one, as you know, in the bedroom. That is amazing. I wouldn't want to put the big one in the bed because in the morning when I get up, I'm gone pretty early. So I'll switch, just before I leave, I'll switch the small Dyson on for Mrs. B. And I absolutely know within a matter of minutes it'll heat that bedroom up superbly. Beautiful. And as she says, she then flicks the Webasto on about 8 o'clock. Just to add to Mrs. B, that comments, that big one, Sue, I completely agree. Got to be careful what I say, I don't want to get sued. I think sometimes these marketeers can be a little bit, I don't know. Would I buy another one and heat a 3-storey house? Not a chance. I just don't. I can't for life me see how that would work. It is just our personal opinion.
There might be somebody out there that's got one and
my other not opinion, fact, when we did try it to heat the boat in terms of a continual process, I couldn't seem to get the temperature past 21. Now 21 to some folk may seem okay, but versus maybe 21 on our Webasto, it's night and day different. It is night, because Mrs. B's right, it only pushes the heat where you're sat.
So it's good.
So it's good. Out of 10 for me, it's a 5.
6 for me.
6.
And in winter, it'll be a 10 for me because as a
as an immediate. Maybe in the summer with the cooling.
Did I say summer or winter then?
Winter.
I mean, in the summer, it's a 10 out of 10 for me because it then becomes air conditioning, and it's really good. You can stand there and waft your skirt up. So I have to stop Mr. B from doing that. Sorry. Stop wafting your skirt.
Right, moving on. I don't know where we're going. So hope that answers your question. I happen to agree with you. A little bit underwhelmed with it, if I'm honest with you.
But not bad, not bad.
But not bad.
Yeah.
Certainly wouldn't spend £700 on one again. Really wouldn't. Right, Mark, you are on one today, aren't you, my love? Mark and Christine Potter via lovelifetriumph.co.uk over in Boston in the US. A city I've visited many, many times. Right, we both watch every week and just wanted to say we so enjoy the vlogs. You two are so very entertaining. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. When we read these things out, I still get thank you. It's a lovely thing to say. We really appreciate that. I'm the funny one though. We are in the very early stages of planning our new life on a Y-beam back in the UK. Ooh. Nice. Not sure if we will go the marina route or on the canal full time. We have decided on the Aqualine as the fit out just seems to be a little bit more superior. Personal choice, you know our view. So yeah, go with, it's got to be right for you.
Correct.
It really has.
Correct.
Question. We would really like to know if you think having the generator that you have, we still have the sales particular for your boat, and if it had been a year down the road, we would have bought it off you and before you. No, you wouldn't. No,
it's not for sale anymore. Yeah.
So basically, we still have the sales particulars, and we know what an amazing kit out and fit out in terms of additions your boat's got on it. So, is it something you would recommend if you were going onto the canal system? Also, you have the 5 kilowatt Quattro Victor inverter, as we do. think you may have said you had the 5k Sterling on your narrowboat. We did. It wasn't. It was the 5k, 5 kilowatt. I can't remember the exact name, but it was the 5 kilowatt Sterling inverter on narrowboat Love Life Triumph. We had that kind of as an upgrade when we bought the boat, basically. So you had the 5k Sterling on narrowboat. We have heard the Sterling inverter can be rather loud. Is this the case with your one when you had it? Keep the great videos coming, and Mrs. B, please, please, please blow Mark a kiss.
I wonder what you're going to say then. Mwah, mwah, mwah. That's for you, Mark.
Can I have a kiss? There you go. Right, so a couple of questions there. Let me deal with the Sterling. So our current inverter, I can't hear it. Seriously, I cannot hear it. Now, it's behind us. It's in a kitchen cupboard. In fact, let me show you. It's in the kitchen cupboard, our current inverter, Mark. So this is the cupboard it's in. There's the inverter. Sorry, there's the ironing board, and there's the inverter. So I'm probably sat, I don't know, 12 feet away from it. It is seriously, sorry about the shaky camera footage there, it is seriously silent. I know, of course, when they get working and maybe a little bit hot, there's fans. I've not heard the fans, and I don't expect to hear the fans kick in. So our inverter, the Victron 5 kilowatt Quattro inverter, is silent. Now, please do not be sending me, folks, hate mail. This is just our experience. So we lived on Love Life Triumph narrowboat for how long? Over a year. 1 year.
Yeah.
The 5 kilowatt Sterling inverter was noisy. Now, it was, maybe, I don't know, maybe I noticed it because it was literally behind the bulkhead in the bedroom. So where the bedroom was on Love Life Triumph, because we had the bed extension, you could actually, when you kind of moved the extension back in, you could actually walk into the back of the boat where the engine was and all the electrics. And on the side there, so literally, it was probably about 3 feet away from our heads was our inverter. Noisy, hum, 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 all the time. It got to the stage where I actually slept with earplugs in. And that was the main reason. Mrs. B, God bless her, always thinks it was because of her snoring. No, it was our inverter on Love Life Triumph.
I snore very loudly, apparently.
We all snore. So yeah, the Sterling inverter was noisy. Nothing wrong with the Sterling inverter. I don't want to get dragged down that debate, which inverter's the best. I'm not bothered about that. But our Sterling inverter was, it hummed, it made a little buzzing noise, and it annoyed the hell out of me. In terms of the generator, yeah, we've got the most enormous generator on this boat. Would I have a generator knowing that I'm going to be permanently plugged into a marina shoreline? Never. It's complete overkill. Now, I'm not obviously criticising those folks that have got one maybe, but for us, if we ever bought a new boat, we would never put a generator in it at all.
Because we're floaters, not boaters.
Yeah, because we're floaters. That thing could power up the entire village where we live. It is enormous in terms of its capacity and capability. It's a really amazing piece of kit, but we have to remember this boat was pre-owned, and this boat was going to be and did spend some of its time certainly away from a marina. So that generator, it's high end, it's probably one of the most expensive ones you can get. We would certainly never do it. So hopefully that answers your question. Yeah. Also, not that I've ever taken a boat out on the network. I've used plenty of generators in my time, when I had my motorcycle business. I've used plenty. You wouldn't, in my opinion, need such a large generator to run your boat. You really wouldn't. So have a look into that. I'm happy to, send some information on ours. I've still got the literature in the drawer in the kitchen in terms of what it is, da-di-da-di-da. So hopefully, anything you want to add to that, Mrs. B?
No.
Right, let me just have a little slurp of my coffee before it goes cold.
Yeah. From our cafetiere and our Christmas spoons.
Oh, that's nice. I might actually have another in a minute. Right, so Mark, Christine, thank you. And enjoy. Please keep us in the loop, by the way, with what boat you buy. Because
you could end up on here.
Yeah, we have quite a few emails come from folk that do keep us in the loop in terms of where they are with the boat buying.
Yeah.
So keep us in the loop on that one.
Yeah, it's very interesting, especially because we've been through it as well. So
God, yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah, if we can chuck our 2 pennies in, we're
for what it's worth.
For what it's worth, and it is just opinion. Lindsay Potter from Peak Forest Canal.
Oh,
Peak Forest. We've done a little bit of that walking, haven't we?
Yeah, we love the Peak Forest. Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah. What drew us there, or to walk a small section of it, was Foxes Afloat.
Yeah. I think that's one of Colin's favourites. I think it is. Peak Forest, isn't it?
Yeah. Lovely part of the world.
Yeah, watch that if you haven't watched it. It's fabulous.
Yeah. If you've not watched it, folks, who hasn't heard of Foxes Afloat, go and have a look at their channel. They do some wonderful stuff.
Lovely video of the peak.
Right, so Lindsay, what a pair of absolute loons you are.
Thank you.
But we so love you, and please keep it real, as you always do. We always do.
Always real.
Because I'm frightened of my wife. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. Just a quickie, if I may. Just a quickie. Okay.
It's a bit innuendo.
Where's this going today?
It's a bit innuendo, this.
Just a quickie, if I may.
Is it after the watershed?
Current time of recording, this is 10:15 in the morning.
On a Sunday.
Right. Been on my narrowboat for 14 years now, and this year shall see me selling it and looking for a wide beam. I think we're setting a trend here. Looking for a wide beam. Not sure what marina I go into as yet. However, I am massively excited, and just watching you pair really confirms what I am doing is the right decision. I am toying with the idea of not going for the well deck with the cover. Do you mind if you show me again your well deck, and do you use it? Stroke, would you miss it if you didn't have it? Please keep these mad videos coming along.
Certainly will.
And stay safe and stay well, and hopefully one day we may get to meet. I would absolutely love to meet the pair of you.
Yum.
And Mrs. B, you really rock it, girl.
Thank you.
I've lost a few pounds. Right, so Lindsay, let me answer. I will take the camera into the well deck. Let me answer one thing. I think I speak for Mrs. B as well. There's absolutely no way we'd have bought a boat without a well deck. Not only because, jump in when I don't want to speak for both of us. Mainly because when we had the narrowboat, we loved our well deck. Yes, we used our well deck as the main point of kind of entry. Here, of course, it's completely different. And again, it's personal. I think we like our well deck because the look of the boat on the front end. I don't like them without. But yes, I would never have bought a boat without a well deck.
And I'm going to sunbathe on ours come summertime.
Good shout.
Aesthetically, it really didn't matter with me, but it's the fact that I can put a sun chair out there.
Yeah.
When Mr. B's not fishing.
Now that's the other point. I've used it loads, Lindsay, and we're coming out of the winter now, as you know. We moved onto the boat in November, so we've pretty much gone through winter.
End of October,
sorry. And I've sat on the well deck dozens of times fishing. What we are going to do, obviously there's a list, there's a budget, and we've got the sofa, the corner sofa to get. We've got a few other bits and pieces. We've got some quite big bills coming up. We're getting the boat blacked. So there's things that we're going to do in a sequence. But once the big stuff's out of the way, we're going to get some kind of cushions made for the seating. We're going to get a couple of chairs. It's big enough to completely get 2 really nice reclining chairs in it and sit. Let me show you, because that is what we're going to do, isn't it?
Yeah. And then just picture us reclining, having I'm going to say gin and tonic. It depends what time it is, isn't it?
Right, Mr. B, do you want to hold that and video me walking into the...
Yes.
Okay. And then if it's a bit shaky...
Yeah, sorry.
Don't show them my slippers. That means you've shown them my slippers.
Of course I won't show them your slippers.
Right, Lindsay, and folks, apologies, we've got the dehumidifier running and we've talked about that. So, let me just move the dehumidifier. So the well deck, you can see, if I can open it, folks. Right, you can see I am stood in the well deck now. Now here, as I say, we're going to get some cushions made like we had on Love Life Triumph. This came with a boat. We've been asked this question before. This is to put your drinks. As you can see, I've got 2 fishing rods. But here, each side of the doors, we're going to have 2 nice kind of outdoory reclining chairs. Let me just close that door over. There you go, Mrs. B. There. So as you can see, even if we didn't put chairs, I mean, the well deck's enormous. It is a lot big. As you'd expect, it's a wide beam. It's a lot bigger than what we had on Love Life Triumph. Right, shall we go back into the kitchen? After you, Mrs. B. So there you go. Hopefully, let me just close these doors. Talk amongst yourselves, Mrs. B.
Oh, it is nice and warm in here.
Yeah, I do all the manual work here, folks. All of the manual work.
I think I've got that straight.
Right, so. Oh, Mrs. B's even put the camera down, look.
Yeah, I think that's...
Even though there's no one in frame at the moment.
Yeah, but the chair is, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
There we go.
Right, so, nice. Now, Mrs. B, do you want some more coffee?
I'm all right at the moment, thank you.
You're all right, okay. Talk amongst yourselves then, Mrs. B. Just going to get some milk out of the fridge, folks. There you go. We've said we keep it real. There you go, look.
And you need your sweeteners.
Bit of milk. Oh. Now everyone knows that I use sweeteners.
Yeah.
And that'll give me no excuse not to... Oh, there you go. Drop some sweeteners in there, folks.
There you go. And then there's
right.
Enough left for you then, I think.
Shall we carry on?
Yeah.
Oh, let me just double check the actual microphones are working. As I say, we are going to persevere with these microphones because now I've found out how you work them properly.
Well, on next week's vlog, it's a trip into the Cotswolds, and there's one bit in the Cotswolds when it first starts. My microphone isn't working properly, is it?
And that is my fault.
User error.
Yeah, definitely.
So you'll see that in next week's vlog.
Yeah.
Because we're a few weeks ahead at the moment.
Yeah. So hopefully the audio
we've got it just right now.
Is getting there.
Yeah.
Right, Lindsay, thank you. Hopefully that's kind of allayed any concerns or kind of answered the questions that you've had in terms of the well deck. But basically, we absolutely love it. Right. Lindsay.
I need to get a good book to read this summer.
Maureen and Peter Pritchard via the YouTube comments. Why you pair haven't been discovered by the TV channels is baffling.
Can you imagine that?
No.
Channel 4, Channel 5.
It's baffling. We both love you. Maureen, Peter, thank you. That's such a lovely thing to say. We have a quick question, if we may, and so hope this gets read out. I've been badgering Peter for weeks to ask this question. You're in. Here it comes. Question: as non-boaters or even floaters, we'd love to know how you get the electricity connection onto that amazing boat you have. Apologies, we know this is the most immediate and intermediate basic question of basic questions. Yeah. No questions. No, seriously.
We were such novices.
When we
didn't have a clue.
I hadn't got a clue.
We had no clue.
So it's not a silly question.
Absolutely not.
Sorry if it's a basic question, but we really would love to know. I'm going to show you. Basically, it's called a shoreline. You plug in to an electricity supply on the end of your mooring. So where we are is called a mooring. It's on something called a pontoon, which is a walkway. Each side of the boat there are further walkways called spiders. So at the end of the boat is basically, it's called a tower, and you plug your boat into the tower. It's not too dissimilar, Maureen, Peter, if you've ever been maybe with a motorhome or you've seen or been onto a campsite, you'll see they're usually orange cables, sometimes they're blue, and they'll be plugged in. And it's the same principle. That's the camper van or the motorhome, whatever you want to call it, RV, plugging itself in to bring electricity into the boat. I won't not baffle you because I'm no electrician. The only thing I will say is boats operate appliances that are 240 and 12 volt, and that's primarily why you need an inverter, because it converts the power.
I don't understand.
I'm keeping it as simple. Not for you folks, but because I just think you can go down a rabbit hole with it. So that in essence, so some of our appliances on our boat are 12 volt.
Like the fridge and the freezer.
The fridge and the freezer. And some are traditional, as you'd expect if you were living in a house on the land.
My hairdryer,
correct.
Things like that.
Right.
And also, just very quickly, which you didn't mention, we have little cards. They're like little debit cards, little Visa cards, that sort of thing. And what we do is every so often we go to the office and you can put money on that card. And then you transfer the money from that card onto the tower, and then that then pays for our electricity.
Cool. Do you want to pick the camera back up? Because I'm going to show literally.
Yeah, literally.
Literally.
And it's nice and sunny as well today. I'll follow you then, Mr. B.
Bear with me, bear with me, bear with me. Right, there we are. So, Maureen and Peter. Just going to open up the doors.
Oh, look at that sunshine.
Nice sunshine. Nice sunshine. So, in essence... Oh, Fat, can you film?
Yeah, I'll film through here.
So,
I think you can see.
Basically, folks, that's it there. Here is where you plug in. So this is ours. This yellow cable here plugs into the tower, which is where the electricity comes from, into the back of the boat. Job done. Right, Mrs. B. Let's go back into the boat.
Oh, do you know that sunshine is
it's lovely, isn't it?
Very nice.
After you, my love.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Right.
Again, that's in the right position. If you can check it.
I think that's right.
Thank you.
Oh, the camera's a little bit wonky donkey. Sorry about that, folks. Right, folks, we're back. Sorry about that. The camera was a little bit wonky donkey, and we had a neighbour, God bless her, just wanting to know where she plugged in her internet cable for those that aren't wireless. But we will sort that out in a minute.
Yeah, he'll go and do his knight in shining armour.
Absolutely. Right, so hopefully, oh dear, I've had some exercise today.
You haven't?
Hopefully that confirms more than Peter, or answers your question, sorry, in terms of the electricity. Very, very, very straightforward. You plug in basically to a supply that's at the end of your boat, and everyone does the same. So when you're off or when you're cruising, which is what we'll never do, you of course unplug, and that's when your batteries on the boat power, and that's when your inverter kicks in, etc, etc.
Solar panels, everything.
Yeah, blah blah blah. Right, so Steve and Gail from Swansea via lovelifetriumph.co.uk. We have just sold our house because of you pair. I hate reading. We don't duck anything. Oh God, I hope it's not because of us. I hope we've inspired. Right, we've just sold a house because of you pair. Only joking, but we have sold our house. If everything goes to plan, we should be out of the house end of April, and then have some money in our pockets, pay the mortgage off, and go buy our boat. Oh, we've been there. You're
doing it the right way, yeah, because you've got to have that cash in your pocket, haven't you? We did the same. We were fortunate. We stopped with my sister and my brother-in-law for about 4 weeks, just so we could build up the money to be able to go, there's our money, there's our, let's have our boat.
Nice. So we would have done this before. We would have done this before we found you pair, but just want to confirm you pair have confirmed to us this is something that we want to do as well. Brilliant. Steve and Gail, brilliant. Still, don't want any dull dust. Still, as you know, it's still a huge gamble, as we knew, but
it works brilliantly for us. We don't want to look back.
Definitely. Question, so do you have any regrets not going for a 2-bedroom boat? We are only asking because Steve, brackets my hubby, really is sure he wants the space you have. He absolutely loves it. You have a football field sized boat. I am not that sure. I am worried that we won't be able to invite people to stay over. Steve, my hubby, says it would only be a few friends and family for maybe a maximum of 3 to 4 nights a year. I agree with him. And therefore, why sacrifice all that amazing space? I am so envious that you'll be getting a corner sofa. You've already got a table for 6 and still seem able to fit more in. So, help. We are so confused. Dear.
Well, come summertime, because of course we've been in the middle of a pandemic, and several members of my family have already come to visit. They've been for the day and stuff. But I would like them to stop over, maybe stop over 1 night or 2 nights.
Definitely.
And one of the things that we're going to have with the corner sofa is a corner sofa with a sofa bed. So, you know, hey presto. Because the amount of times that people are going to be, and you're quite right, it could just be 3 times a year or 4 times a year. Is it worth sacrificing your space for those 3 days?
Good point.
And can I just say as well,
that's a good point.
When Mr. B varnished our bed, because he never stops doing things, he varnished the bed and we had to wait overnight for it to dry. So we slept in that corner. We brought the mattress and slept in that corner, and there was bags of room, and it was really comfortable, weren't it? So you know, for us personally, I've got a family who I know will want to come and stop over, and I've got 2 nephews, George and James, who I know would love to come and sleep on Auntie Wendy and Uncle Darren's boat, and they could do that, and they can sleep on a sofa bed. So
I completely agree with that. I think that's really, seriously, really good advice. If, you know, you were saying, Steve, Gail, you know, you were, or your friends and family were going to be 6-7 months a year, get a second bedroom. In fact, I'd be saying something different in terms of what's going on. Mrs. B, I think, has nailed it so well. Sometimes the second bedrooms, we looked, sometimes the second bedrooms have the beds, I'm sure they're very comfortable, pushed right up. You can't get around them. Mrs. B's right. When we get our corner sofa stroke bed, you'll be able to walk and move around it. And I'm not saying that's going to make it more comfortable or practical or easy to, but there is that to consider as well. But I completely agree with Mrs. B said. Why would you sacrifice for just a couple of nights a year, maybe, as you're saying here, versus, as I say, the corner sofa we're getting, I've already measured it, will comfortably seat 5 to 6 people. And even if it wasn't a sofa bed, you could still sleep on it.
Yeah.
So I just think we've landed lucky in terms of this. Now, if this boat had got 2 bedrooms, would it have put us off buying it? No. Because we've got the luxury that it's a 70 foot. And I know 10 foot doesn't seem much, but we certainly wouldn't have got this table and 6 chairs in. So there's all that stuff, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. And
it's a really good question.
We love all this space.
Yeah.
We love it all.
Oh, definitely. I want to stress that's the primary reason we bought this. It's the space. It is so spacious and you don't feel cramped at all. So good question. Again, you know what we're going to say? Keep us in the loop. We'd love to know what you end up with.
Absolutely.
Right.
And where you are. Not that we want to be stalkerish or something like that. That sounded awful. Where are you going to be?
Right. Vivian Marshall from Lisbon in Portugal.
Oh,
via lovely city. Yeah, via loveLifeTriumph.co.uk.
Obrigade. I think I pronounced that right. Oh. Get me?
Get Mrs. B, and we've got a cafetiere. So love the channel, and this is so not a boat question, but just thought I would try my hand and ask anyway. You've always said anything goes. Absolutely. The only thing we just for everyone else, the only thing we won't talk about is religion and politics. We're not that type of channel.
No.
So it's a question for Mrs. B.
Oh, go on, throw it at me.
I'll get me coat, shall I? Right, Wendy, what I'm so glad this wasn't levelled at me. I'll put my teeth in today. Wendy, what exercise regime do you have to get that butt and legs like you have? You've got a butt like a firm walnut. I can't stop looking at it. Vivian.
Thank you.
I think we are of a similar age, but you simply look great, girl. Mr. B, you are rocking a very sexy chick there. Hope you're aware of it. Damn right I am. I think my wife is gorgeous.
I'm 57, by the way, so...
Vivian's ended it with laters people. Laters people. Viv, not met you, love to.
It's walking. I mean, if you look at our vlogs, I mean, Mr. B at the moment, he's working a lot of hours and he's working Monday to Friday. Bless
And
his
I don't
heart.
mind, you know, I love working.
And I'm very good friends with Neil and Paul on Goldfinch. And what we tend to do is 2 or 3 times a week, me and the boys go and have a nice long walk. When Mr. B's at home, we go and have a long walk. And it's just the walking. I don't do anything else. I've got a little bit of a tummy because I do enjoy my food. And we've often said, if we didn't eat as much and stuff,
I'm not stopping eating.
Skinny, but I'm happy with eating.
Yeah.
So walking, and we've just downloaded, me and the boys, the Google Fitness app. I'm sure there's other apps out there, and we did that about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and it really makes you conscious. We've set our goals for our steps, for our heart, for our calories, and and you really do push yourself that little bit more just so you can hit that target. And fingers crossed and touch wood, I've hit the target most days. So it's just walking. So that's all I do. I just walk.
I know I've said it a few times, and I know you're probably thinking, oh, but Mrs. B is my best friend. She's my wife, and I happen to think she is stunningly gorgeous and very, very sexy. Oh. So thank you for that question, Viv.
Thank you.
My regime is I see it and eat it. That's it. There's no one in front of the queue with me for that.
I train him like you do with a Labrador. Labradors love the food, so does my husband.
Viv, thank you. And I just love, if everyone who mailed or left comments ended it with laters people.
Yeah,
I just think that's brilliant. Right, Vic and Anne Rutherford from beautiful southern Spain. Oh. Whatever.
Imagine we've got sunshine today. So
we have actually, yeah. The spring is coming. We've watched from the beginning and we both love your stuff. Thanks for spending the time uploading and doing this wonderful work every week. Vic and Anne, lovely. Thank you ever so much.
Yeah.
We heard you mention in one of your very recent vlogs that you were planning to retire to the sun, someplace in Spain. Yes, we can highly recommend it. I'll bet you can. We can highly recommend it as we've been down here for 6 years now, whatever. It really is 300 plus days a year of sunshine. Just wanted to let you know that you will need to satisfy the retirement visa requirements. That's really the main difference since Brexit. Vic and Anne, absolutely. We do know that. I have already, let me just stress again, this isn't for at least 10 years. No. Absolutely love where we live.
Yeah.
I hope this 10 years goes really slow. But in around 10 years, when I probably think I will be ready to pack it in then, yes, we will be going somewhere sunny. However, me being me, I've already started to plan for that. So yeah, the retirement visas and the requirements, without going too far into it, we already kind of satisfy that, if I'm honest with you. So yeah, it's a matter now of enjoying our life here. I'm not going to try to, accelerate anything because we truly love.
Oh, I love it.
Love it here. And in fact, if we could pick this boat up and put it somewhere in Spain, that's what we'd be doing.
And take the community with us
and
as well.
Take the community.
Yeah.
One thing we have said is where we end up will be again community based. So thank you for the heads up on that. Really appreciate that. Question. This has come from Anne now. I wish someone had asked me a question about me. Wendy, I am so incredibly envious. You have such a beautiful body and figure, but amazing, beautiful curly hair.
Do you know, this is I'm feeling quite emotional, all these nice comments. It's lovely.
Hold on a minute.
Sorry.
Oh, I've clicked onto your Christmas list again. Hold on. Podcast
I
questions.
nearly looked.
Don't look at your Christmas list. Where I've got to go all the way almost back down to the bottom here now. Oh, here we go. Right. Beautiful hair. I absolutely would love to know, what do you use on it, please, to keep it in such great and shiny condition? I am so very envious. Thank you again. P.S. Can you blow Vic a kiss? He has a man crush on you.
Man crush on you?
That's what she's put. He has a man crush on you, Wendy.
Oh.
Doesn't make sense, that, but I'm going to assume you meant he's got a crush on my wife. And Vic, you can have one if you've got a man crush on me.
Yeah, if you've got a bit of a crush on me.
I know it's probably my wife.
My hair, actually, it doesn't look too shiny today because we're out in Dovedale yesterday and it got a bit windswept.
Dovedale's in the Peak District.
Yeah, so we were out in the Peak District getting very windswept, me and the boys yesterday. But I just used only curls. for about, I'm 57 now, so probably about 45 years of my life, I hated my curls. I hated my because it's naturally curly. Hated it. I straightened it to within an inch of its life, absolutely straighten. And then you kept saying, just leave it. And now I couldn't tell you the last time I actually used my straighteners. So I just leave it to dry naturally, and I use only curls. And it's just the products from a company. It's a little company. I think it's based in London, and they just do shampoo and conditioners and products for curly hair. And that's what I use, and I love it.
And can I also say, yes, I absolutely love when Mrs. B's got hair like this. I love it. I think it is so lovely. And I'm also really, really lucky because, you know, of course it's Mrs. B's hair. And I know when we first met, Mrs. B would straighten it. But the very first time I saw it like this, job done for me. Aren't I lucky? Ask me something about me, please, viewers, going forward.
Thank you, Anne.
About my regime. As I say, I see it and eat it. Yes, thank you. Chris and Paul from Bath. We were in Bath last year.
Lovely place.
Bill's
Bar.
Bill's Bar, yeah. If you're ever in Bath and you want a really nice plate of food, Bill's Bar.
Was very nice.
Other establishments are available. Right, Chris and Paul from Bath. We are brand new to boating channels and love your content. I hope you've not watched too much of it because we probably have a different... No, joking. We have looked at a few Y-beam boats, none with a well deck. Do you mind showing us the well deck?
Oh!
Just have. On your boat, and do you use it? Is it big enough to relax stroke sit in? Now, I could have included this in with the other question, but Chris and Paul have also put, what's that stuff on the floor that looks like boarding? It's called teak deck. If you Google teak deck, you will see what that is. We've got it on the front and the back of the boat, so it's called teak deck. As you've just seen, is it big enough to sit in? Definitely. Yeah. And as I said, we will be getting a couple of, because Mrs. B's right, you know, that's one of the reasons we got it. She will sit no doubt in there in the summer and catch some rays
and zip everything down.
Yeah, that's what it's there for.
I'd like one of those chairs that you pull the handles up and it reclines, and it can take one of those.
Yeah, definitely. So that's hopefully answered your question. Plenty big enough, and that for us was it was a non-negotiable to get a boat with the well deck. Hopefully that's answered your question. Thank you for reading this out, and we do look forward to watching you both. Chris and Paul, thank you. Final question. Elizabeth and Stan from Tyne and Weir via lovelifetriumph.co.uk. And I say, I'm just reading out exactly what's put. Question, we have no clue about boating, but simply love your new boat and life you both have. When you did your boat tour a few weeks back, we noticed you had a lovely gas cooker. Thank you. How do you get gas to it? Is it under the cooker or in a separate place? Sorry, it's a basic question. As we've mentioned, we've had another so-called... they're not basic questions.
No, not at all.
We didn't know.
We knew nothing.
We hadn't got a clue.
Nothing.
So,
absolutely
honestly,
nothing.
Please keep these...
Nada.
Do not worry about asking questions if you think they're basic.
Anything.
As I say, sorry if it's a basic question, but we have never been on a boat before. And your cooker and kitchen look amazing. And we just are so intrigued to know where you get your gas from. Also, is the gas expensive and how long does it last you? Okay, there's three. Yeah, it is a good question. Three things there. Very quickly, is the gas expensive? No, we're paying around about £34. God, I should know the size of the bottle. I think it's a 13 kilogram bottle. It's a fairly large bottle. We've got two. Where you've already seen the well deck, the front of the boat, you unzip one of the little window panels, and on the very front of the boat, excuse me, the bow, there's a gas locker, a big lid that you lift up and you put your gas bottles in there, and we have two. Most boats will have two, and the 13 kilogram, they're around about £35 UK pounds. As an example, on our narrow boat, and let me just confirm what the gas is being used for on our narrow boat, which was our cooker. That was it. And on here, it's our cooker, and we've got the Cinderella toilet. And again, for those that don't know, the Cinderella the Cinderella toilet runs off the gas. in terms of how it incinerates the product that goes into it. Mrs. Bonham, you were saying?
And the stove. We've got a stove and a cooker.
We've got the cooker and the stove. Now, in terms of how long does it last? On our narrow boat, so we lived on it for a year, we went through 1 3/4 gas bottles. So that's around about £60 worth of gas.
And I had a full-size cooker and hob on the narrowboat and used it a lot, didn't I? Did a lot of baking and stuff.
Yeah. So I know, obviously, you know, you guys are in the UK, and in the UK for our folks further afield, but I think this would apply to everyone. You know, there is a little bit of a crisis with energy costs at the moment, and I don't want us to sound by any way smug, but living on the boat in terms of utilities, including electricity, we don't pay for our water. Our electricity is, I think, very cheap. Let me give you an example, and we've talked about this on an earlier vlog. When we were on land, our utilities, so our gas, electricity and water, we were paying around about £150 a month.
For the water, the gas, electric, it's about 180 for all three.
£180 a month. Here, golly, as I say, we spent £60 all year on gas. I expect to probably spend maybe a little bit more here. We might be just using just a little bit more. I certainly don't expect to be spending anywhere near £100 in 1 year on gas. In fact, what we're probably spending a month on land versus what we'll probably spend here a year, it's considerably cheaper.
The central heating is diesel, isn't it?
Central heating is diesel, so obviously that's a cost.
Yeah.
But obviously I don't want to stray too far away from your question. Hopefully, sorry, let me just go back to the question. Hopefully, Elizabeth and Stan, that answers your question. How long it lasts is how long's a piece of string. It's how long you're using your gas appliances. But as Mrs. B said, we never, and we don't on this boat, we don't worry about switching the gas appliances on.
Just like in a house, I just switch it on and use the cooker. And come summertime, we won't be using the cooker as much because we'll be eating salads and pasta, salads and cold stuff. But at the moment, I'm cooking every day. You know,
exactly. So and I hope I've not offended anyone or come across us, but as I say, utilities, we haven't, as we've said many times, we haven't bought and moved onto a boat to save money. You know, as I've said before, and I don't mind sharing, you know, the mooring fees, we've got the longest boat that you can put on Mercia Marina, and you know, we're spending, it's around about £720 a month on mooring fees. That's a very, let me be very clear, that's a really nice mortgage on a very, very nice property. So, you know, there's pros and cons with it. I'm not saying that's cheap or expensive, but that's what we spend each month to put this boat on the marina in terms of mooring fees. Around about £720, £730. I should know the exact number. I've got it on my spreadsheet, but that's what we're spending. Utilities are cheap. Hopefully that answers your question. And that brings us to the end of this podcast.
It's been a bit up and down and a bit...
It's been a bit stop-start, but apologies. We keep it real. I'm going to go see my neighbour in a minute and make sure she's all right with her internet connection. And we're going to go out. We need to buy you a pair of boots. I don't know if you caught that little clip on... Was it on Twitter or Instagram?
On Twitter and
Have
Instagram. We were out walking in Dovedale yesterday, very, very quickly, and I've had a pair of Timberland walking boots that weren't cheap. I have had them for about 2 or 3 years, and it was very, very muddy. And halfway through the walk, the sole of my boot just came away. If you look at my Twitter account or Instagram, it's on there. Or if you look at the narrowboat wide beam goldfinch, he's done a little little vlog, 7 minutes. And you can see my boot on there. I managed to use the elasticated string things that go on your mask, and we tied them all together and tied it around my boot, and it worked. So
goodbye.
So I'm getting some new boots.
Mrs. Bonneville. Mrs. Bonneville, say goodbye.
Goodbye. Good job I was a girl guide.
Wave to the camera.
Bye. See you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.